Welcome to the Code Talk Evening Show, the Solutions Only podcast. And I am your host, Victor Vincian, with Mr. Accountable Masculinity. And to my right, your left, is Mr. Antoine, the other artist, Christopher. So today's topic is going to be, what is a pick-me? We're going to have another guest come in later on, but like this was a very interesting subject that you kind of like ran with when we started talking backstage after last week's show. So I'm looking forward to what kind of notes Antoine is going to bring to the discussion today, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that you just gotta be here to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I'm hoping that we have a definition of what everybody's version of pick me is.
Yeah, and that is a great take right there. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the banner up and say, you know, like what is a pick me? You know what I'm saying?
If you Google it, there's a specific
Yeah. What is a pick me? Like, we got to define these, you know what I'm saying, these terms, you know, because sometimes, you know, they just become buzzwords and they just kind of derail the conversation. Like, what is your definition of, you know what I'm saying, a pick me from your point of view? What you got?
Well, I mean, the Google version is a girl who does everything for external, mostly male validation. And then a person who acts against the interests of their own, typically marginalized group in the hope of obtaining majority favor. Okay, that's the official Google version. So yeah. I don't know the black version, and I don't know the white version.
Hey, realistically, and I think you need to pin this on another day, but read that second definition again.
A person who acts against the interests of their own, typically marginalized group in the hope of obtaining majority favor. In other words, they're siding with the people that are the majority of what they're saying.
So like it's saying,
even though they know differently, they're siding with that person. They're going with that person to be favored by the group.
So because like, let me make sure I heard what it said. It said something about acting against your own interests, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
that's what it is.
Yeah. So
that's the second.
Look, that's pretty powerful. You know what I'm saying? When you really think about like the energy that goes around that conversation, because it means something different at a relationship level. It means something completely different at different tiers,
right?
Because I've heard it used as both an insult and just as a general description of, you know what I'm saying, of whatever people observe. You know what I'm saying? Because like, yeah, you can absolutely, you know, like have a conversation about. I tell you right now, like when you said a group of people and said marginalized, I was like, black people being a pick-me, trying to make politicians relate to whatever the situation is, and then being shocked when they don't.
I agree. I agree with that. I think we have politically been a pick-me at one time. I can honestly confess that I've been a pick-me so I can get a deal. I decided against my own morals and value, but hey, listen, I like the check. What am I gonna tell you?
Yeah, I think it's definitely different tiers, man. Like I think the act of just going to work and, you know what I'm saying, like and applying for a job to a very general degree, like you said, everybody's been a pick-me to some degrry, right?
Everybody's been a pick-me. You just don't like the name, but I kind of like the name, to be honest with you, because I don't see what
you do.
Why? Yeah, I don't see what. Why wouldn't you want to be picked? What's the alternative?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta pick your battles, man. I mean, I don't know why people think they can get ahead being all squeaky clean with nothing in the closet. I mean, I just, from the successful people that I've heard and talk, they all have dark things in their closet.
Yeah.
I've never heard a millionaire say, "I've been a millionaire and I was straight and I never did anything bad and I obtained all what I had." Listen, as men, we got to make sacrifices. We are so judged as men. It's unbelievable that people don't know how much we're judged. And by that whole content of character that Martin Luther King preached about, he's right, and that's always at the table when it comes in general.
Mm-hmm.
Judged by the content of his character and all that hoopla shit. And it's true. No, but it's true. We have it so hard every day. I mean, I'm not saying other people don't have it hard, but I just think as men, anyways, that's my.
Yeah, I'm listening now. Go ahead.
I just think as men, we don't put enough. That's why I say a man should never settle. A man should always be thriving. A man should always be working. A man should rest only on his vacation and his days off. That's it. I think because we're always having to prove ourselves, but the minute we leave that door, and we all tell white lies and things that people want to hear in order to get ahead, and we'll tell that white lies just so we don't have to hear it. And there's nothing. I see nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. I'm not gonna say I don't lie. That's stupidness. If you tell me you don't lie, I'm gonna come on, man. You ain't, even a priest lies.
Yeah.
The minute you know what I mean. Come on.
I understand what you're saying. Like, if you look at the overall picture, you have to manage which information that you share with certain people, if at all. Speak when spoken to. Like, let people think what they want. Don't add clarity. You know what I'm saying? The stuff. I know what you mean by that, because sometimes you got to keep the peace on some things until you get out of it what you need, especially in like the business world. People make up stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? So on a general level, yeah, because if you wanted to make more money, you'd have to go find a job that complemented, you know what I'm saying, your desire to make more money. You got to fill out their application. You have to go through their process. You have to abide by their policies, so
Tell them what they want to hear.
Tell them what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't want to do it. So on a general level, yeah, being a pick-me is like part of life.
Right.
It really is, because you can't tell the difference if unless you've been on that side of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't look at someone like, it's just vastly different in life when you're 20 than when you're 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you are 20, you don't know what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? But when you're 40, you know everything that's behind you.
Right. Right.
Like
I said, when you're young, you think of the present. When you're older, you think of the future. Mm-hmm. I mean, sorry. When you're young, you think of the future. When you're older, you think of the present.
You think that too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think of the future anymore. I think of every day that goes by. I think about where I want to go and where I'm headed. But once we're on the path, I believe that we think more in the present tense. When you hear young kids talk, "Oh yeah, man, when I get older, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy this car later on." Their aspirations and goals are like,
I kind of I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Like I understand that, because you know what I'm saying. Like at 45, you take your time. You're like reconstructing or deconstructing old events and figure out how you can reproduce that better. Some things that you could have done better if you had the opportunity. And
I think even the hardest thing for me now is sometimes I fight with looking back and without regret. Like shit, but you can't look back. You got to keep looking forward. You got to build a bridge and get over it. But what's the alternative? In my question is to not be a pick. What's the alternative? You don't get picked. You're left behind in the schoolyard. Well, what's the alternative?
Like, so somebody had this in the comment, right? It's better to be a pick me than a pick me not.
Yep, I agree with that. Exactly. Like, what's the alternative? Like, you like, what's the end goal? Like, you have money, you have good looks, you're doing what you want to do in life, you're only growing. What's the end goal to all that? Like, not be picked, or because praises run out, right? Nobody talks about people after a certain amount of time. It's just like, what's the end goal? I think you need to know your end goal, but I definitely don't want to be that that guy in the park feeding the pigeons with nobody coming to see me.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And you can have, I mean, gravity comes to us all. So I don't know when you say that person's a pick me because they want to be picked or they want to get ahead, what should their alternative motives be? To stay behind and, like,
yeah,
not play politics? Because
yeah,
being a pick me is playing politics too.
yeah,
If you're gonna go, I mean, you need to. People need to explain that to me. Like what I read in the definition of the Google definition, I said, oh, I was right then. All along, I was right. But then you go on social media and all these platforms, and it's a negative thing towards men and more towards men and women, not only women, towards men and women. And I'm like, why? So I like to talk to on that subject because it's a big, a big thing right now.
mm-hmm.
And I don't see the point. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't see the point in withholding it either, because
I want to be a pick me. I want to be picked, man. Goddamn, I'm the one that does the picking as a man, but I want to be picked.
Yeah, well, I think when Star comes on, she'll be on it a little bit too. She's
But I
on
want
it.
an honest conversation. I don't want the sister code. You know what I mean? I want it straight up. Let's go.
She's not. Yeah, she's not having that. She's gonna talk about it.
She almost had it with that fat things we were talking about last week, and I'm like, no, doesn't.
Hey, man, look, there's always gonna be. There's
I'm
always
gonna keep it raw, buddy. I'm gonna keep it raw. And you gotta be honest.
That's what the platform is about, though.
Yeah,
it's like, everybody has different definitions and different takes on things relative to their experience. You know what I'm saying? So, like, somebody might be coming from a background where being a pick-me is a bad thing, because that's what I've been seeing. So, like, some of the bad stuff that I've seen, right, is I look at anytime we talk about something, I kind of have a general idea of like, where can I observe the end item product, right? Because so many times, like right now, we're talking about what a pick-me is, right? So I'm looking at it from the end of, if it's a bad thing, show me a bad version of it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, I found a video. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Like that, the whole, while you're looking for that video, that whole Simone Biles thing when she found her husband and they called her a pick-me. And I'm like, why is she a pick-me? She found like an awesome guy that's financially set.
That's a very good example. We hadn't even discussed
and
that.
I'm like, why? What did she do to earn that title pick-me? She actually chased the guy and wanted him and went after him and got him. Like, if anything, she's the prize and she got it. She got her present. She got what she went after. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, she picked me. She picked the guy and she went after it and he picked her. Like, he could have picked any. It's not like the guy can't pick any. The guy didn't have options.
Yeah. Yeah, like they made a huge
He just didn't pick you.
Yeah, the amount of bad energy that was around that conversation was like, I couldn't understand it, man. I just didn't have the understanding about it. And so I kind of avoided that topic altogether, not because it wasn't worth discussing either, but because people just make it way more difficult than what it should be.
I just find it when Black people are achieving their goals and they're actually winning, that Black people will actually come out and accuse them of shit that has nothing to do with what they're doing. Instead of uplifting them and praising them. And I think men have it hard that way. I think when we start doing good, the first thing they throw at us is, what, now you're going to get yourself a white woman? Or when we start doing good, what, now you're going to leave the hood? I mean, it's always some shit. It's like you can never do enough.
Yeah, man. You can kind of like hang that part up. Like,
it's like,
I really just, I only do what makes sense for my life. And that's what most people should do. But because of that type of individuality split, people got different interpretations of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I'm going to find this video on my phone real quick.
What's the alternative is what I want to know. Like, you people talk about it, but what's the alternative? That's what I want to know. I want to know what the alternative is. Like, there's a lot of channels, without calling names, you see these beautiful women and you're like, 27, you're getting up there, you know, and then some of them are 32. Okay, you're close to geriatric pregnancy. Single by choice. I don't believe there's no such thing as single by choice. You're single by the choices you've made. Whether they're asinine ones or not, you're single by the choices you made. All right, you're not single choices you made. Let's just be real on that. Okay. I'm single by choice because of the choices I've made. I can own that. You know, and I could honestly say, I could have been married 3 times and it would have been the best time of my life to get married. But but the asinine choices that I've made led me to where I am now. And I can own that.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So
like,
and I think me saying to myself that I can own it is how I move on and accept it and say I'm a better person from it though. And when people tell me that, I always look at them and I go, dude, you're not single by choice. You're single by the choices you make. like that's so stupid. I'm single by choice. That means nobody wants you.
Yeah. Look,
for the person you want, you can't get.
Look, okay, so I'm gonna play this audio because I don't want to have it. I don't have it loaded, but you'll be able to hear it. So check it out.
Oh, you gotta
watch this, and then we're gonna talk about it.
You know I can't hear that, right?
Oh, okay, hang on a second. So you can't hear it? Okay.
I'm hearing about you something.
Okay.
Why can't you pull it up like you did the last time with the other videos?
Well, I am not trying to have it taken down, but I think I'm gonna try it a different way. Hang on. I got it. But yeah, like that, there's some people out here that's had different trauma situations behind this stuff, you know, and that's what it was interesting to me because I go look at the end item. If you say it's a bad thing, then show me a version of it. You know what I'm saying? That you can prove it was bad and say, oh, this was not a good idea. You know what I mean?
Yep. But I agree with you on that. That's a good thing to say because it's true. You know, you have to literally show me what is bad. What's the bad result of being a pick-me? You need to show it to me.
Yeah, exactly. I found the video. Hang on.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's very important to me.
So watch this.
Okay.
I'm gonna open up this video real quick and we're gonna look at it real.
Yep. I'm here.
Here we go.
Whoa. No volume.
I want to talk about trauma. Talk about the trauma of having a pick-me mother. People don't talk about it a lot, but there's a specific trauma that comes with that. And when I say a pick-me mother, I mean a mom who will seek male validation or the approval of men over the safety of their children. And it happens a lot more than you think. These are women who will quite literally side with a man over their children, who will prioritize the affection and attention of men over their children. And we see pick-me's all the time, but what we don't know is that pick-me's have babies, and those babies walk away traumatized. Why? Because pick-me's are more prone to putting their children in harm's way through emotional neglect, allowing physical and other forms of abuse. These things happen as a result of moms prioritizing the needs of men over their children or themselves. I highly recommend if you have a pick-me parent to just examine your relationship with yourself and your relationships with romantic partners and things like that, because it can show up in so many different areas of your life. We don't want to repeat them patterns. And let me just note that a lot of women are conditioned to be pick-me's because we live in a patriarchal society, obviously. But that doesn't excuse the behavior. It just is like an explanation for the behavior. If you are a pick-me parent and you feel like your man needs to come first, I should whack you, but I'm not going to do that. But I will say, work on your.
Okay, but like, let's be for real. Let's really get into it. And in case you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse relationship recovery coach. So let's talk about it. I grew up with probably the prime pick-me. I also grew up with someone who just genuinely only cared about herself. My mother made up this imaginary beef in her head with my father, and she decided that she wanted to reach out to her old love fling or whatever when they got into it. This woman sat me down at the kitchen table, forced me to listen to this love letter that she was writing to someone that was not my father. She wanted to destroy her marriage and go find this man that she was in love with in high school or college or whatever and wrote him a love letter and forced me to sit there and listen to it and read it. And then proceeded to tell me that if I told my father, she was going to beat my ass. And then after my parents split, because, you know, she tried to have me kidnapped. She set me up to be kidnapped by her brother. Years later, she told my dad that I didn't love him and that I wanted to move to Paris with her and her new fiance, and I wanted him to be my dad. I wish I was making this up. And every single time this situation happened, I was scolded and screamed at and yelled at because I didn't want to go along with what she was doing. And then I was also conditioned to have this whole fight for your man mentality, fight every woman for your man mentality. And I was very much raised up on very, very, very big pick me energy. And it's wild. And we don't want to get into the pick me energy when it comes to men picking women over their children as well, because I have experience with that as well. It sucks.
I don't consider that a pick me. I don't consider that a pick me. And I'll tell you why. Because these are the decisions and the choices the mom is making. That's not pick me. Pick me. That's not the definition of what I read and what I believe, right? She's in a situation. First of all, I'd love to know how old she was that she couldn't speak up and tell her dad the truth. So that would have been nice to hear that. And her mother is going on. Her mother is in the wrong. I'm not saying she's in the right in any way, shape, or form. The mother's in the wrong, right? But I would love to know the age. Now, that's not a pick me situation. That's a situation and the choices people are making and part of the life she's in, the turmoil she's in. And either the husband's not paying attention, but from the way she looks, he don't look like he was in the house. All right? So let's go with that. And as for the guy that was talking in the beginning, he don't look like he had a father in the house. Because ain't no father going to talk like that, you know what I mean? So I'm going to start off with that right there. And yes, I'm going to pass judgment because I'm going off what I see. And it's just a video with very little context, all right? So, yeah, I'm not seeing that as a pick-me situation. I'm seeing that as choices being made, bad choices. Yeah. You know. And I'm kind of feeling the bald thing on the head. I'm kind of feeling the bald thing. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, you know, before I say whatever I got to say, welcome to the show, Chris.
Chris! Later, man.
What's up, fellas? I really wish you would quit doing that shit.
he too consistent, man. He just too consistent. He that's how annoying that's how you know he's full of it. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows how
I love that Chris.
Yeah. So I see that somewhat like you do, Antoine. I feel like number one is undisciplined, to put your nature above your responsibilities to your children. That's just number one. So if you're choosing relationships, romantic relationships over your parental obligations, you're already wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think especially if you're putting your kids on the negative end of that situation, you know. So I don't really see that as pick me either, but they have a different perspective of it because they live in it from a different end of it. You know what I'm saying? So like Chris, I don't know what you've already seen, but to catch you up, today's show is about what's a pick me, because there's so many different interpretations of it. Like when I heard it, I was like, a pick me, a woman with common sense. That's all that is. That's what makes sense to me. But Antoine's got a different definition of it based on what he's been able to search up. And I just played a video of this recovery counselor, narcissistic abuse recovery, and she was giving a story about her personal experience. You want me to play the video again? Yeah, that way you can be in. I just let you watch and you go from there. Then you'll be caught up. So here we go. Boom. Over here DJing. What you been up to today, man?
Completing goals.
Like
Good
that.
deal.
Like
Okay, I'm here we go.
Watch this, and then we're going to talk about it.
You want to talk about trauma? Talk about the trauma of having a pick-me mother. People don't talk about it a lot, but there's a specific trauma that comes with that. And when I say a pick-me mother, I mean a mom who will seek male validation or the approval of men over the safety of their children. That happens a lot more than you think. These are women who will quite literally side with a man over their children, who will prioritize the affection and attention of men over their children. And we see pick-me's all the time, but what we don't know is that pick-me's have babies, and those babies walk away traumatized. Why? Because pick-me's are more prone to putting their children in harm's way through emotional neglect, allowing physical and other forms of abuse. These things happen as a result of moms prioritizing the needs of men over their children or themselves. I highly recommend, if you have a pick-me parent, to just examine your relationship with yourself and your relationships with romantic partners and things like that, because it can show up in so many different areas of your life. We don't want to repeat them patterns. And let me just note that a lot of women are conditioned to be pick-me's because we live in a patriarchal society, obviously. But that doesn't excuse the behavior. It just is like an explanation for the behavior. If you are a pick-me parent and you feel like your man needs to come first, I should whack you, but I'm not going to do that. But I will say, work on your...
Okay, but like, let's be for real. Let's really get into it. And in case you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse relationship recovery coach. So let's talk about it. I grew up with probably the prime pick-me. I also grew up with someone who just genuinely only cared about herself. My mother made up this imaginary beef in her head with my father, and she decided that she wanted to reach out to her old love fling or whatever when they got into it. This woman sat me down at the kitchen table, forced me to listen to this love letter that she was writing to someone that was not my father. She wanted to destroy her marriage and go find this man that she was in love with in high school or college or whatever, and wrote him a love letter and forced me to sit there and listen to it and read it. And then proceeded to tell me that if I told my father, she was going to beat my ass. And then after my parents split, because she tried to have me kidnapped, she set me up to be kidnapped by her brother. Years later, she told my dad that I didn't love him and that I wanted to move to Paris with her and her new fiance, and I wanted him to be my dad. I wish I was making this up. And every single time this situation happened, I was scolded and screamed at and yelled at because I didn't want to go along with what she was doing. And then I was also conditioned to have this whole fight for your man mentality, fight every woman for your man mentality. And I was very much raised up on very, very, very big pick-me energy. And it's wild. And we don't want to get into the pick-me energy when it comes to men picking women over their children as well, because I have experience with that as well. It sucks.
So, okay.
Is he muted?
No, I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him. He was on there.
I thought I was muted.
Nah, it was for a second just because of the video playing.
Okay.
But like while Chris collects his thoughts, the conversation that you and I were having about what we think is a pick me, and I think when you got like poor rationale, individual rationale, like I don't know how that aligns with the pick me conversation from my point of view, but there are people that got a definitely got a different take and a different perspective and a different lens on it.
I know people that have lived this.
Yeah.
I know people that have lived this.
Right.
I know people that have lived their mother putting a man before them. Like I say this all the time, and I'm gonna keep my reply short because this kind of hits me in the gut because I've seen this a lot and I've also lived this. Growing up the way that I have grown up and being around the women in my family that I have been around, I am amazed at how much a woman would tolerate just to have a man say, I love you. This is some real shit. Like on some real shit. This is some real shit. And this is why I can't date women with children. This is another reason. Because if you put me before your kids, I'm dumping you because I should never come before your kids. Ever. No man should ever come before beings that came out of your body. Stupid. What is wrong with you? So yeah.
Yeah. Like that. So that's the other angle of it. So like you see all these different versions of it, and then and it really stems from poor emotional regulation. You know what I'm saying? You can't get control of your nature. Because there's just no way that the human beings that you are biologically responsible for should go, after your romantic situation. And it happens because, and I think this happens a lot on the single parent side. It's the only place it really can happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the case in marriage or whatever either, but I don't see how that would work, because if you got picked, you got picked, right? But who are you trying to get picked by? Which kind of goes back to, like what Antoine was saying. It's like what is this picking? Like what are you picking from? And this is why I was saying, like, you go back to look at the children, the end item product, because just like I was talking about before, Antoine, you was like, like, well, if you say this is a bad thing, show me a result of it. And that's a version of it right there. And Chris can speak towards it too. So there's a different, dimension on this thing than what people are talking about.
That would be the second version. The second that would be the second Google explanation of pick me, right?
I would say, yeah.
But like I said, I still don't see that clearly as a pick me if we're talking, because the woman put her child in certain situations that shouldn't be, but that's choices she's making, because I don't even think she wants to be with that guy. And depending on what age, right? Because after a certain age, when your kids are out the house, you got to think of your own life. Your kids got. That's why I said I don't know what age she was at to be in that situation. But I still can't see clearly as a pick me compared to what we're trying to say here. I see it as a choices that a mother made, bad choices that mother is making, more than anything.
Yeah. From based on what I heard from the video, she said that her mother wrote a letter and she read the letter to her, and if she told her dad that she was going to beat her ass.
Right.
So that leads me to believe that she was under the legal age to get out the house. So she was a kid.
You see?
She was a kid. So I would say her mother is being a pick-me.
No, she's cheating on her mother.
Wait. And here's why I say this.
Okay.
She's doing everything that she can to the detriment of her child to get a man. You understand what I'm saying? The kid is falling by the wayside because she's so focused on getting a man. So she is kind of sort of being a pick-me. To me, I hate that phrase, because you know how I feel about buzzwords. I can't stand them. I hate them. I hate buzzwords. But from my understanding of what a pick-me is a woman who would do anything to get a man, even if it's at the detriment of other people. You understand what I'm saying? Her mom doing that and blurting all of this out to her daughter when that ain't her business. Why are you doing that to a kid? That ain't her business. Why are you? What is wrong?
That's just bad parenting on top of that. On top of
Yeah,
being,
look, like that's the. I think in this situation, I think it's just safe to say that that's a bad parent. Like if you say being a bad parent, I think that's a better encompassing term than just saying a pygmy. Because overall, if anything happens to the detriment of your child based on your own personal discipline, you're a bad parent.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing from this. Because
I'm
I
speaking
don't.
from the
Go
side
ahead,
of
go ahead.
her trying to get. I'm speaking from the side of her trying to get this man.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm
Mm.
saying? When I'm speaking like that, she is being a pick me because she's doing what she can to get that man, even though it's hurting her kid. She's also a bad parent because she's doing what she can to get this man and hurting her kid. Two
Because you
things can be
can't.
true at the same time.
Yeah,
You
because
understand what I'm
she could be
saying?
a bad parent and not be even in the relationship conversation at all. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's why I think it's a combination of both
Yeah,
in this.
this is horrible parenting 101.
Yeah, yeah. But you see, on the flip side, I think a single woman that wants to be married, wants to be engaged, wants a man, should do everything she can to put herself in the best position to get a man, and especially the one she wants or the one she feels she's deserving of. I mean, in the right way, not in the wrong way. But I find people are calling people pick me um, in a negative term because they can't relate to what that person is doing
Nah,
to get that
it ain't
man.
that they can't relate. It's just that the person that they're calling a pick me is calling out the horse shit that they doing and they don't like it. It's a shaming tactic.
Hmm.
That's what
Yeah,
it is. It's a shaming
right.
tactic.
But
A
it
pick
shouldn't be.
me is a woman, like Vic said, a pick me is a woman with common sense. But in the mainstream narrative, a pick me is a woman who disagrees with the sisterhood.
Yeah, that's the explanation that I got all over social media that I don't agree with. But and then I told Vic, I said, Vic, you know, exactly in the sisterhood. So let's go there for 2 seconds. What exactly is the end result that you want if you're a bad bitch? Like you're hot, you got everything, you're working, sorta. What's your end result? Because gravity is gonna come to you, looks are gonna fade, and everything's gonna go away. But what's the end result you want for you? Because every day you change skin. So I just need to know that, because you are getting closer to geriatric pregnancy, and the man you want that's making that 100K is looking for something younger, hotter, and fresher. You don't qualify no more. So now you're making 80,000. You want a man that makes 80,000, but that man's getting younger women, so you ain't there anymore. So a pick me. Now you have to become a pick me because you need somebody to pick you because you're gonna end up alone. I mean, that's how. So eventually you will be a pick me, or you'll see the light.
Yeah, if you don't want to be by yourself, if you desire companionship, there'd be a definite timeline on, you know what I'm saying, wanting to get picked. You got to be available.
I believe deep down inside, every woman, and I'll even give an example of this. Every woman wants a man and needs a man, and I'll tell you why. I was watching this show, Alaska, she was living out in Alaska, that white woman, and she loves being alone. She flies her own plane, kills her own caribou, stocks meat for the winter, all that good stuff. And then with all the pluses she said, and she loves it, she goes, yeah, the guy in the camera asked her, so, do you ever miss companions? She goes, yeah, at the end of the day, I still wish I had somebody to help me with this. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a woman that thrives on being alone and cutting her own log and killing her own caribou. And at the end of the day, the answer was, yeah, it would be nice to have, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I think about it and it would be nice to have somebody here to talk to. And I'm like, there you go. At the end of the day, we all want somebody, man. We all want to feel loved. And at least if we die, we want to have a story to tell.
That part right there is in itself just the nature of just being a social creature. But everything what you just said, plus what Chris said, is what makes it a negative situation. Because if you read one side of it, it makes absolute sense. The same way that you just described it. The same way Chris was able to say, what my opinion on it was, right? And then he also gave his take on it based on the video. And he already had some personal experience with this, whether it be proximity or firsthand. It's the part that you add on the back of it that makes it a negative thing. Because straightforward, it don't take that many words for it to make sense. But when you think about the negative behavior with that same logic, then you start getting abusive situations. You start getting, bad parenting, bad human beings, undisciplined.
Yeah.
So it's a disciplined take from the get-go, but the behavior and and the goal, that's what determines on whether or not it's a negative situation. So So you've seen some good, you've seen some bad, and and ultimately we've seen it simplified. And it can be more complex than what we think it is sometimes too, So it's like when you start talking about what's a pick-me, you got to be able to hear a wide, diverse, group of people, because it means different things for different people.
Yeah, where's the source? Where's it coming from?
Social media.
Right. A lot of people.
It's a buzzword. It's a buzz phrase. It don't mean nothing. It's just a way to make women feel bad about being the kind of woman that the man that she wants in a woman. Like, that's just common sense.
But why wouldn't a woman want to be a pick-me is what I'm trying to understand, because it's a good thing. You actually got picked. Somebody actually wanted your ass. You actually got the guy that you wanted. You're actually good enough to marry. You actually showed that you're able to be a woman that man likes, and he picked you. He actually wants to carry you down the aisle and do all that good feminine, masculine stuff with you. So at the end of the day, a woman should want to be a pick-me because she should want to be picked. Period. I don't think any woman in this modern day time should be alone. And the pandemic taught me that too as well. Proved that. Because everybody was scared. Especially the ones when you see them lining up in the grocery store and biting their nails. So it's a very good, there's no way you could tell me that, but I'm talking women in their right mind, right? I'm talking well-rounded, functioning women that have A, B, and C in their head. I'm not talking the ones that have an ego and operate off their ego. I'm talking about a self-sustaining woman that's got her life together.
But that's where the term came from. A bunch of egotistical women who actually think they're in control of the dating market.
No, I think
wait.
Okay.
I'm saying this because it came from the term came from women. It had to, because I don't think a man would actually be mad at a pick-me. We wouldn't come up with something that's stupid.
I'm agreeing with you on that. No, Chris, I agree.
Here's what I'm saying. It came from a woman. It came from a group of women who, in my opinion, are so egotistical that they believe that they control the dating market because they got a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with them, and they can't tell the difference between dudes wanting to sleep with them and dudes wanting to be with them for the rest of their lives.
Okay, I would say a little bit different than that. I would say it came from women that men don't want, and jealousy. Men don't want them. They don't have the right temperament. They don't have the right attitude. Men don't want them. And those are the ones that complain when they see other women, getting picked. It came from those ones.
Yeah.
It came from those women, not from the women that get picked, not from the women that know how to conduct themselves properly as women. It came from the ones that aren't being picked.
It came from the unpicked.
The unpicked. And I don't blame them for being that angry, because now, they have to change. They have to change.
They got to look in the mirror and actually do some stuff. They have to actually be the kind of woman that the man that they want in a woman.
And what they have to realize, and it's a hard pill to swallow, what do these women qualify for now at the age that they're at? You have to become a pick-me, because now you're past all those options you had. Your fishing pole, the hook has dried up. And you have to become a pick-me if you want a guy to notice you. And if a woman cannot judge a man off the size of her own wallet. They don't qualify for that man the higher the income, because he wants something younger, hotter, and fresher. and baby mamas need not apply. It's just the way it is. So a pick me is a good thing, especially when it's coming from the right frame of mind. It's a damn good thing. I would want to be picked if I was a woman. You know, look at Simone Biles. Look at Simone Biles. They called her a pick me. I'm thinking this woman got a
They
NFL
called
player.
her a pick me because she didn't check him for saying that he was the prize and she wasn't.
Because
And he
she
didn't
knows he's the
actually
prize.
say, but see, he didn't actually say that she wasn't the prize. He's saying she got me. She came and got me. So wouldn't that make me the prize because she came and got me? You
But
understand
he
what I'm
was the
saying?
prize.
Like
He was the
seriously,
prize.
and that's another buzzword I don't like. I don't care enough. You know what I think of when I think of a prize? I think of something old that I won that's probably sitting on a dresser collecting fucking dust. Shut up.
Hey,
But-
you know, I think a lot of people use that prize conversation the wrong way. When in reality is that a lot of people really want to be they want to be the prize, but they really just a trophy. And
They want their ego overinflated.
but being a trophy is more important to them than being a treasure. Like a trophy get passed around. Everybody keep competing for it. Every year it could be a new champion. You know what I'm saying? Every competition it can end where you know what I'm saying, you're not the winner. You could be in a different trophy case, you know what I'm saying, every time you walk outside. But when you're a treasure, people gotta actually dig for you and then protect you. And then not and keep it a secret for you know what I'm saying, for a period of time until it's safe to discuss it. It got to be secure. So, like in that whole conversation about between being a pygmy, being a prize, and all this other nonsense, none of it's treasure behavior. None of it. It's just all rooted in grief.
See,
From the knees.
Okay, but look, this is how I look at the prize, right? I think Simone, and you know, people can say what they want. I think Simone is a prize, right? She's got her shit together, star athlete,
The greatest gymnast to ever put on a leotard.
one of the greatest that ever did it. So she is a prize, right? I don't even think she needs to label herself as that, right? And here's a prize that actually went after the man she wanted. That in her eyes, he's the prize because that's what she wants. That's what's at her finish line, right? And she went after what she wanted. And I think she did a great job in doing it because she actually got it. But Simone is a prize herself. To get with a woman like that, that's a prize in itself, right? Any woman, I think any woman that's got her life together, I'm not going to go by value amount or how much she makes. I'm going to say she's paying her bills. She's living as an adult. She takes care of herself. She's able to maintain her own hygiene without wanting a man to pay for anything. And she's doing everything she should do by herself as a grown woman. That's a prize right there, right? To me, that's a prize right there, right? So now a man comes into her life and he's got his stuff together and he's taking off of half of her bills gone and she's taking half of his bills because technically she's going to be taking care of things that he was taking care of. So technically he's getting his side taken care of as well. Now he's the prize. I believe when you have your shit together in life and you're building and growing and you're able to do all what you need to do, you're a prize. You won. You just don't have anybody to share it with, but you won. That's how I see it. And Simone, goddamn, a woman at that level, shit, hey, man, you hit pay dirt.
She got like 20 gold medals and every gymnastic anything.
I'm just saying, like, hey, that your girlfriend Simone Biles, you know, she does, yeah, I guess, yeah. Like, what are you gonna say to that?
And
like,
I think the main thing was, I think another one of the main thing was, I actually watched the interview he did on the Pivot when he was talking and Simone was in the background. He said he didn't even know who Simone Biles was.
I don't believe that, but anyways.
Well, hey, we got a question from the audience.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm a prize. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. A woman gets with me, she's good. She's good. Oh, I'm a prize. I know I'm a prize. I don't need nothing from her. She's coming into my world. I ain't going into hers. She don't have to worry about it. We ain't doing no struggle love. We ain't doing no building together. Mind you, you never build with my art, but anyways. Oh yeah, absolutely. I know I'm a prize. I got all my marbles. Absolutely. And you're coming in, you ain't causing no. I got my own piece, and I know what peace is like. So no, yeah, she's coming. No, yeah, I'm a prize. I'm a catch. I'm a freaking boat sailing off with a bunch of fish in it that you just dock, and next thing you know, you're selling all the fish. Yeah, I'm a prize. I don't need her for nothing. I don't even need her to cook because I love cooking. That's how much of a prize I am. Yep. Just don't wear no granny panties.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to Code Talk, the solutions only evening show. And what you just saw was history being made, you know. And coming to the stage is our very own Star.
Hey,
That's funny.
What's up, Star? How you doing?
Hey there.
So,
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
we just had a video of I'll just catch you up. That way you can join the conversation. I'm gonna step to the back and
Oh, good. I can reset my camera.
Oh, you gonna play the video for her?
yeah, got to.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, hang on a second. I'm pulling
All
it up now. Hang on. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Oh, yeah, DJ.
Ooh, baldy. Sorry. There's something with bald-headed women. It just don't sit right with me. Unless it's a medical issue, you know, I don't know.
I was feeling the baldness, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Talk about the trauma of having a pick-me mother. People don't talk about it a lot, but there's a specific trauma that comes with that. And when I say a pick-me mother, I mean a mom who will seek male validation or the approval of men over the safety of their children. That happens a lot more than you think. These are women who will quite literally side with a man over their children, who will prioritize the affection and attention of men over their children. And we see pick-me's all the time, but what we don't know is that pick-me's have babies, and those babies walk away traumatized. Why? Because pick-me's are more prone to putting their children in harm's way through emotional neglect, allowing physical and other forms of abuse. These things happen as a result of moms prioritizing the needs of men over their children or themselves. I highly recommend, if you have a pick-me parent, to just examine your relationship with yourself and your relationships with romantic partners and things like that, because it can show up in so many different areas of your life. And we don't want to repeat them patterns. And let me just note that a lot of women are conditioned to be pick-me's because we live in a patriarchal society, obviously. But that doesn't excuse the behavior. It just is like an explanation for the behavior. If you are a pick-me parent and you feel like your man needs to come first, I should whack you, but I'm not going to do that. But I will say, work on your.
okay, but like, let's be for real. Let's really get into it. And in case you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse relationship recovery coach. So let's talk about it. I grew up with probably the prime pick-me. I also grew up with someone who just genuinely only cared about herself. My mother made up this imaginary beef in her head with my father. And she decided that she wanted to reach out to her old love fling or whatever when they got into it. This woman sat me down at the kitchen table, forced me to listen to this love letter that she was writing to someone that was not my father. She wanted to destroy her marriage and go find this man that she was in love with in high school or college or whatever, and wrote him a love letter and forced me to sit there and listen to it and read it. And then proceeded to tell me that if I told my father, she was going to beat my ass. And then after my parents split, because, you know, she tried to have me kidnapped. She set me up to be kidnapped by her brother. Years later, she told my dad that I didn't love him and that I wanted to move to Paris with her and her new fiance, and I wanted him to be my dad. I wish I was making this up. And every single time this situation happened, I was scolded and screamed at and yelled at because I didn't want to go along with what she was doing. And then I was also conditioned to have this whole fight for your man mentality, fight every woman for your man mentality. And I was very much raised up on very, very, very big pick me energy. And it's wild. And we don't want to get into the pick me energy when it comes to men picking women over their children as well, because I have experience with that as well. It sucks.
You are muted.
Shit, my bad. No comparison, but my mom probably did about twice as worse as that. Twice. And I got put out because
See what I'm saying?
I had told her, I said, look, your boyfriend and his son are coming on to me. And because I was already because I was already a teen mother, I already had this negative stigma on me. So yeah. And you know what's so funny? My mom still deals with the guy, and it's been over 30 years, still hasn't married her. He just takes advantage. And it's interesting because she has said that we're raised that way. What happened with me, I was the opposite. Like, it was hard for me to form any kind of intimate connections with anyone because I never wanted to be like that. So
That's an interesting, that's what I was saying. Like there's a lot of layers to, what I'm saying, what's a pick me for different people based on the way that they was raised. You know what I'm saying? And like Chris says it all the time, it's a buzzword. We spend a lot of time, what I'm saying, really having conversations that revolve around buzzwords, stuff that's been misused, misinterpreted, applied to the wrong situations, and when really it should be a situation that just makes absolute sense.
Yeah,
so
in this case it makes sense, but to get mad at a woman for showcasing herself amongst other males, I don't see that as an issue. I think that is nature. But when a woman is throwing other women under the bus, or especially her own children, yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly that.
So,
but a woman amongst other women trying to capture the man, a woman amongst other women trying to capture the man that she sees the prize in her eyes, that ain't a pick me. That's just a smart woman looking to get settled down and she found what she wanted, and she has to go after it. And if all the other girls call her a pick me and he starts showing interest towards her, now all the other girls that aren't picked are calling her the pick me. Yeah, because she got picked.
Right. Like, I've been married all my whole adult life. So it's like,
you know what I mean? I was saying to start, what's the end goal for these women? Right? You're a boss, babe, you're hot. Let's say you always call yourself a 10. I get all that shit. What's your end goal? Well, like, what's the end goal? Cats, dogs, what do we talk? Like, what's the end goal for these women that talk like that? Because they must realize that if they're making 80K and a man is making 80K and you're 30, he's not going for you. Like, there's got to be that realistic, younger, hotter, fresher. He wants the best for his money. And if you don't qualify anymore, and a man making 100K, I don't know about them, but I could tell you what kind of women step out of these men's cars. And most of the women that want that guy on social media don't qualify. They don't. Like, that's like, and I just want to know what the end goal, because now the girls that aren't being picked are calling the girls pick me.
The end goal for many of them, and I can tell you my mother's outcome. The end goal is loneliness in most cases, especially when you're dogging your kids out. If you are a pick me, and you are literally trying to push your kids away, you're going to end up alone. No man I personally know respects a woman that does that. That's what I want to get through to women. Men don't like that, because let's say he really finds you attractive and he's like, wow, I think I might want to be with this woman. If you see how she treat her own seeds, that might scare the fuck out of you. If she can do her own flesh like that, what would she do to you? Better yet, if you was to put a baby in her, what would she do to that child? She'll do the same shit to that child. For some dick? Nah, man. I don't understand it. I don't respect women like that because I've actually mentored the children from these unions. I was one of them.
As was I.
Look, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth, some real shit. When I was about 37 or so, it was some years ago, and I was laying in bed. This is what made me get my first book out. I was laying in bed and I felt really depressed, and I was crying. I was in fetal position, crying like a little girl. So it was so bad to where the following day, I literally made plans. I had suicidal plans. So I had wrote a letter out and everything. And mind you, my current life was great. Nothing was wrong with it. Not, beautiful family, the ideal life, right? So the following morning, something told me to open up my childhood diary. Now, mind you, I just wrote a suicide note the night before. I had plans to really out myself. So I opened up my diary, and mind you, it was April 4th, 2020, when I had this discomfort. I opened up my childhood diary, and it happened to be April 4th, 1996. Same date. So basically, it was my higher self, or whatever you want to call it, God, we can call it God, led me to that to let me know, hey, this is the same way you felt exactly April 4th, 1996. It was the first insert in my diary. And it was about how could my mother do this? How could she place this man over me? I was only like 9. So all I'm saying is it's a lifelong thing you got to heal. But I forgave her after that because I knew the purpose for me forgiving her was bigger. I got to help other people, but I can't be in fetal position crying like a baby. So I had to heal it. And my mother just told me 2 weeks ago, she apologized. She said, you know what? I chose dick over you. I wanted dick and I wanted a lot of dicks and I got them. She said, she told my husband, she apologized to my husband 2 weeks ago. She said, I apologized for how I raised her. I fucked up. She said, I just wanted all the dicks I could get. And my daughter had to watch it and participate.
That's like, but like I was saying it like.
So how do you heal that? What's the outcome for a woman who would do that? My mom is alone right now, and all the dicks are gone. She's like, I don't even want dick no more. That's not even my focus anymore. I don't even want dick. I want to be a mother. But guess what? I'm 40.
But
I already have my own family. Now she better hope that I'll take care of her. That's just where we're at.
But you see, then that's and it's unfortunate because of the choices she made as a mom, and like I always said, desperation is not an attractive trait at all.
No,
but
they'll fuck you. The men will fuck you because they'll come over, they'll eat your food, they'll fuck you, get some good head. But guess what? They will respect the woman who's actually being a mother. That maternal shit is a turn on to some men. A lot of men out here like, I don't want to be nobody's stepdaddy. Lies.
We don't.
The reason why no. Well, maybe not you, but I'm a woman and I got experience out here.
Wait a minute. You think men want to be stepdads? You think
it's beyond that? It's beyond that.
Man, listen.
It's not the stepdaddy. Maybe not you.
Listen.
No, wait. You think financially good men, well-grounded building.
Naturally good men are biological.
Stop. I need everybody to stop right now. Men, there was a point in time where being a stepfather was honorable. There was a point in time where being a stepdad was the correct thing to do because you were stepping in when a man stepped out or you stepped in to actually fill a void. There was a point in time where that was honorable. There are men out there who would be willing to be a stepdad as long as that child is an asset and not a burden. And as long as that woman who is a mother is not looking for a handout, she's actually looking for somebody to maybe help mold this kid into something because she doesn't have the other male counterpart to do it. Men will do that. I have seen it happen. I have friends who have blended their families and have become stepfathers and actually are thriving in their marriage because that child was an asset and not a burden that was attached to a woman. And because it's all of a sudden a package deal, I have seen it. However, if I'm looking at this from a general scale, men really are not checking for women with kids anymore because the stepfather position is no longer viewed as honorable. The women nowadays that are giving men this impression are looking for help. That is what they are looking for. That is the impression that the women that represent women in mainstream media and social media are giving us. So on an anecdotal scale, I've seen it happen, but on a general scale, I don't see men actively looking for women with children. There is an entire movement on the internet saying do not date single mothers, and it crosses cultures and it crosses races.
You're muted.
I believe that, as in the maternal traits that women have, even if they're not their own children, I believe that is something that a man should look at, if she's maternal or not. And a lot of men that I know personally, they said, I don't mind a single mom because I can watch how she is with her children. And if she's attentive with them, then that makes me want to proceed with her. But no, I don't think men are actively out there looking, but that is a factor. And a lot of women don't think that. They think if they put their child on the back burner, that man is going to want them more. And that is not the case. If he's a good man, that's not what he's going to want.
I said this earlier, man. A man will lose respect for you if you put him before your kids.
Exactly. But
why would I want a woman that'll put me before a body that came out of her body?
Exactly.
Like, are you kidding me? No, I'm about to eat your food. I'm about to smash you out, and then I'm about to go really look for what I want because you're not even attentive with what you got. So if you're not attentive to what you got, what makes you think that I'm going to think that you're going to be attentive with what we have? No, get out my face.
But generally speaking, no man, like I said, I mean, as a single man that knows a lot of single men, because we are in the dating market, ain't no man want to take care of somebody else's mistake. That's a fact. We want our own legacy, and we don't want you. We love you, we just don't want it. And any man that sees a woman with a child needs to understand she's already coming in on the bottom of the barrel because he already knows he can get any woman above her with no kid. And there's nothing she can offer him that another woman can't provide without a kid, except she has the ability. She has an ability to know what it's like to take care of a kid. That's the only thing she's bringing in that's fresh. But other than that, she ain't bringing in nothing that another woman can't offer, because men like to learn with their spouse. So it's our first kid together. It's our first diapers together. We look for that. That inspires us. We don't want, oh, don't worry, honey, I've been here before, did that, done it. We don't want to look at somebody else and remind them. No, we want a woman that has a kid needs to be the biggest pick-me out of all pick-me's. Period. If she wants a man. That's a fact. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
That's you, though. But every man don't think like that.
Oh, my God.
I've been married twice, and I'm just saying I've never had those issues. And I bring value. Can I address the Sierra comment?
Go for it.
The Sierra comment?
Yeah, go for it. You all over it.
It's all you. I'm muting my mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I wanted to say this, and I know Vic and many other people have seen me write this online, and maybe if I say it vocally, then the slow people can catch up. And I'm just saying this because I'm saying it. I'm a predator. I'm a former predator. I can see how this works. The thing is, yeah, a lot of them are living through Sierra, but Sierra lied. She told these women she prayed for Russell. She used the wrong version of pray. She prayed on Russell. Now, is nothing wrong. I'm not knocking that. I think they have a beautiful family. I think it's wonderful. But here's the thing. He was never her first choice. And everybody knows that. And the thing is, I can't stand it when a lot of women, they act like they don't understand why a lot of people look at Russell the way they look at him. Good, great guy. But come on, we all know that he's never even probably been invited to a cookout. Probably never had a black girlfriend. None of these women who swear they would want him would have even looked his direction ever. You know what I'm saying? He was an easy catch. I could have got that. That's not hard. Go and sprinkle some pussy on an NFL field. He never had no black pussy like that. She knew. She knew. She got advice from some really, really good sources. Them Kardashians gamed her up. So when a lot of black women, they have this fantasy because they can't see, I don't know, I guess maybe a lot of them just didn't get the game I got growing up. That's fine. But no, she preyed on that shit and she did it. She saved face too. You have a baby daddy like Future. What else would you do? Come on. Nobody wants their son to be a Russell, by the way. I'm
you
just
know, it's crazy. He just got waived. So he's not even playing in the NFL no more.
Damn.
Yeah,
like the Broncos just waived him. So ever since Sierra has been making a spectacle of all of these things that they've got going on, his career has tanked. He went from the Legion of Boom to getting waived and not playing no more.
Well,
Yeah.
So be invested.
Yeah. Exactly. That's my point, man. People, I know I'm right, man.
But see, like I said, man, if I'm speaking on a general scale and I'm basing it off the horse shit that I see on social media, then yeah, men ain't actively looking for women with kids. But I'm looking, when I look outside my door at real life, I see men actually dating women with children who view their children as assets. And they not taking care of, they don't look at it as they're taking care of another person's mistake. They're looking at it as, all right, this dude don't have a dad, his dad ain't around, or I'm cool with the dad and it just didn't work out with them and we're all working together to build something because it's about the kid. I've seen that. It happens in real life. And to be real, I would go on to further say that it happens more than the horse shit that we see on social media, which is giving us this impression.
Right. Now they want the square guys when they never wanted them before. So, I mean, I don't understand how people cannot understand men's perspectives on why they say what they say about Russell. Like, it's not nothing to
care. They don't care. They want what they want when they want it. And if they can't get it, it's something wrong with the person not giving it to them. It's not something wrong with them not being what that person wants in a woman. They don't care, man. Look, this is why I hate conversations. This is why I hate these conversations about these stupid ass buzzwords that I hear on the internet. I hate them because they go down a rabbit hole that really ain't got no business going down that rabbit hole. And these conversations get real goofy real quick. You understand what I'm saying? They get real goofy and they get real stupid. Goalposts get moved, insults get hurled, ad hominem attacks happen instead of actually talking about what we talking about. I hate social media with every fiber of my being, and it only grew more when I started doing 6 months of hell. I haven't been on social media since September of last year on purpose because I wanted to experience what real life is. Real life ain't what it is on your computer screen or on your phone screen. Go live and go actually see what's happening in the community, and maybe you might be able to affect some fucking change instead of typing your keys. Stupid.
I think, well, I can't speak for everybody, but I think social media is a good thing, especially when it's coming from a good place. I think it helps a lot of people. And I think it brings a lot of awareness. You know, I mean, people, listen, we use these buzzwords for views, likes, and money, and to attract money. I mean, that's what the topics are. I mean, it's always the same thing going full circle, right? And, you know, it's rarely solution based because, you know, solutions doesn't exactly pay the bills. Chaos pays. So you know, and it's unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. It's unfortunate that it's like that. My take on Russell is that listen, I said it, desperation is not an attract. I don't know what Sierra did to him, but a man at that level, I don't know why he wouldn't want something fresh. especially from where she came from. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, whew. I just don't know what he saw in her. Well, I know what he saw in her, but I just don't know why he would stay to marry it and do the whole thing, knowing where she came from, right?
But look how it turned out. She's given him. I can see if she hasn't given him his own children, but she's given him plenty.
And she's also taken plenty.
Like his career.
Like his career. The video she put out, she's embarrassed this man. And this is not no normal man. This is a high-level profile man. His career is in shit because of her. And I'll say that because his mind is not on the game. I mean, the man won 2 Super Bowls for crying out loud with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And it's sad
The Legion of Boom.
Right?
I used to love them.
Right? And I'm just like blown away by how he could just, and then go on social media and talk like that. It's like,
Hey,
damn, man.
I want to make sure are we saying that Sierra killed the Seahawks?
I'm saying Sierra killed the Seahawks.
And she caused
Sierra
the
killed
Denver
the
Broncos
Seahawks.
offensive line to give up on him. And now he's a 10th of the quarterback that he was when he was winning Super Bowls. This is what happens when you know what? I said, Vic, you know what? I got a bone to pick with you. And here's why I have a bone to pick with you. I told Coach at the beginning of this year that I was not going to be as angry as I have been. But every time I come on this goddamn show, I get pissed off. I should not. And I say this all the time. It should. And Antoine, you asked me why I was angry before. I'm going to tell you why I'm really angry right now. Do you know why I'm angry? I'm angry because it's me talking about this, and it shouldn't be me talking about this. I don't want this. I don't want to be the guy on the internet to bottom line this horse shit that we see and get rid of this nonsense and quit dealing in these buzzwords and quit putting my middle class just now starting a business mindset on multi-millionaires and their lifestyle because they get their money different. I shouldn't be the guy on the internet talking about this, but I'm the guy on the internet talking about this. And it's pissing me off. This conversation should have been had 20 fucking years ago. But here I am on March 6th, 2024 at 8:17 at night talking like this. This is stupid. This is why I'm angry.
And Vic, to answer your question, Sierra killed the Seahawks like Yoko Ono killed the Beatles. That's all I'll say.
Man.
Hey, Vic, I've been having that same frustration about a lot of things on the internet too, because I'm just like, damn, like I be feeling like, damn, I'm too advanced.
Oh, the skits.
Oh God, I was pissed. I've been pissed, but see, it's man. Look,
We have to do a show about the skits too, but a lot of that is pick me energy too. Anything you doing for likes, I think that's prime pick me energy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do anything for any type of attention, that's what a pick me is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So is it fair to say that the majority of us, can I say the majority of us believe being a pick me is a good thing? Because I think it's a good thing.
It depends on how you do it.
I think being a pick me, I'm going across the board, painting a damn big brush like this. Boom. It's a pick me is a good thing because you've been picked.
On a common sense level, yes, because ideally, like if you're talking about relationships and why would you argue for being single if you're talking in a relationship conversation, right? Like, why are you even why are you here if you don't want to talk about that part or talking about being social? We talking about even just being platonic friends. Like at a minimum, people want friends. I don't know a whole lot of people that don't want friends. Even most people tell you, I need a new set of friends. So so at a minimum, they still want to have social connection. So generally speaking, in common sense and healthy terms, being a pick me is not a bad thing. It is a general idea that people want to be connected to other folks.
So ladies out there, I could be picked.
You got the floor, Antoine. This one we're gonna start doing.
Listen, man. Gosh, man. How many times are they gonna tell it to you? Being a pick-me is a good thing. You've been picked. You should be happy. A woman should want to get married, have that white wedding, and have the house with the white picket fence, and choose to work or not. You know, pump out some mini me's and stuff like that. You know, be the traditional woman. And you know, and I want to say this too, because we always talk about a woman being a pick-me. I don't think a woman should be with. If a woman doesn't have kids, she should be with a man with no kids. If a man has kids, a woman shouldn't even bother with him, because then after she's in another world of hell. She should avoid that altogether the same way. I think she should seek what she wants and get picked by a man that's right for her. I don't even think that. That's how I feel about that. And I think every woman should do that. But if you tell me we're meant to be alone, and what's the end result you want? As fine as you are, what's the end result you want? Because as you get older, you ain't gonna get the man you want. It's not gonna happen. Sorry.
Hey, Antoine, before you finish,
I'm finished.
Check this out. From one of the comments, it's I did this because it's not my responsibility to raise, nurture, and feed and work for another woman's children either. So this is a lady saying like being a stepmom is a thankless job as well. So I mean, I think
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Hang on.
Honestly,
said this before.
I like my stepmom are cool.
But see, like I said, we come from a time where being a stepmom or being a stepfather was considered honorable. Like it was something that people actually took, like people actually gave some sort of credence to. You understand what I'm saying? Now it just looks like a bunch of people with their hand out trying to make somebody else pay for the mistakes that they made, because they didn't think enough of their seed or enough of their womb to actually protect it.
Would it make a difference? Because in my case, I'm married, and my husband.
Before you go, and she did say the dating market is effed up. I said this before. Yes, the dating market is, I guess, quote unquote, messed up. Everybody says the dating market is toxic and it has piss in it. Get out of it and get out of the pool and go take a goddamn shower.
Well, now that's a little harsh. That's a little harsh.
I had to get out of the pool. I had to get out of this toxic urine infested dating pool and go take a shower. That's how I can look at it from an objective point of view.
I see.
Go take a shower. You understand what I'm saying? Go clean up and then look at it for what it is.
Let me ask, does it make a difference with men in general? If you fall, does it make a difference if the woman was married or not?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. It shows that you're able to commit. It shows that you're able to have a home. It shows that you're able to get along with a man. It shows that you did it. You did it the right way under the covenant of God. If you believe you're Christian and all that good stuff. Yes. It looks better. She got divorced. Oh, unfortunately, it broke up. It just didn't. Ooh, all right. That's a story. There's something behind there. But the whole spread it for baby mama shit, that's just irresponsibility. Over 17 forms of contraceptive. You can't use the best one of all? Come on now.
Okay. I was just curious about that because my husband and I, like I said, we've been together 13 years and I came in a relationship with 3 sons.
You got lucky. You got the biggest hook. You got lucky.
Now, as far as the man that I have,
lucky.
But let me tell you, right before I met him, I've had men take me house shopping.
Great, good.
I didn't have the experiences a lot of people online are saying that these women are having. I never had that. I literally had options. But
that's because the people that are flapping their gums online are the loud minority. It's not all of them. It's a percent of the people with bad experiences who got an internet connection and a cell phone.
Gotta be, because the people that I'm around, like I have a friend of mine, and I'm not going to say her name, but she's about 50. She was a single mother. She ended up marrying an eligible bachelor, and now I'm just saying, like, I've seen like 4 different weddings happen within the past 6 months, and these women had children. And I don't know. Like you said,
Keyword 50. Keyword.
And I said this too. I've seen more marriages in the last 3 years than I have in the last decade.
Leave the
So
cat.
I can see where she is coming from.
Keywords
But
50.
this is real life. I'm not talking this social media nonsense that's being piped into everybody's face.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I hate that. And I hate the fact that everybody's opinion is based on this nonsense that you see on your computer screen instead of what you see in your real life. Like, are you kidding me? We're not this stupid.
Yes,
We're not.
actually, we are. We are. The reason why I say that is because
I'm sorry.
I did some
Maybe this
research.
is the utopian side of me, but I have too much faith in my people to think that we're this dumb. I'm
No, well,
sorry.
it's not that they're stupid. It's just that people don't learn their brains. See, the thing is, imagery 60,000 times more likely to brainwash a person rather than what they see in their actual life. And I had to look into this because I felt the same way as you. I was like, people can't be this stupid. But it's not that
When
they're
you say
stupid,
they're
you're just
stupid,
not
stupid for
aware.
what? When you say they're stupid for what, Chris? Exactly. I missed something.
You go.
It is difficult for me to put it into words
Okay.
that would it is difficult for me to put it into words only because me speaking is it's not about like me. It's about what I see. And I can't be the only person on this planet that can pull himself out of this nonsense, who can get out of the pool and go take a goddamn shower and look at everything for what it is. And it's and not be, first off, not be pissed off, and two, not have this feeling that, oh my God, we're not this dumb. We're like we're not. We know that the nonsense that we're doing is nonsense, and we're only doing it for attention. You don't have enough real life friends in your life that you can actually go talk to. You got to pick up a phone and broadcast your entire life on the internet and then get mad when we talk about how dumb you sound and how stupid you look. Are you kidding me? Get out my face. We're not this dumb. And to your point, Miss Star, about divorced women having a better chance, Antoine makes some great points, but it also shows that she at least tried to do it right. Just initially, she already had the thought process that if I'm going to be a mom, I got to be a wife. So I got to be what this man wants so he can put a goddamn ring on my finger and then I can go along with being a mom. That's really what gives a divorced woman or a widow woman a notch up over women who just have children, because the divorced women or the widowed women were actually married and not counting false engagements when he didn't jump the broom with your stupid ass.
Yeah.
Do you understand why I said it shouldn't be me? It shouldn't be me talking like this. I should not be the guy on the internet saying this shit. I shouldn't be.
Exactly. And you know what, Chris, to what you just said, I want to say to what Chris just said, women need to understand. You think it's a flex when you say you can get men? The average woman could get men. If there's one thing the average woman could get dick. Can you retain the man you want at the end of the day? So when they flex and say, "Oh, I can get men," I'm like, yeah, every man waits till the end of the bar when it's closed to see who's drunk to take home. We know that already. We're men.
It's the caliber.
Somebody's gonna want you. Somebody is gonna want you for sex, and that's okay. But to say you can get men, what quality man are you talking about? Because I could tell you, quality men don't look like that. They don't, sleep like that. They move differently, and they leave the bar before it's closed. So there's a very good distinction between the two that people are forgetting. So when you're flexing what you can get men, you're supposed to get men. You're a woman.
But look, unfortunately, and it's funny because I didn't even realize this because my experiences are very different from most women's, but they don't understand what that means by the quality. Just like you said, I'm pretty sure somebody in the world is going to hear this and be like, wow, they leave before it's over. A lot of women don't know because they never had, their mothers don't talk to them about this. Now, the other nationalities, I've heard their mothers talk to them about this. I've never really heard, and it has happened, but it's not common. And I think religion may have contributed to this, but I've never really seen Black mothers just coach their daughters on dating and the mating and courting. They've never really done that. So a lot of times,
that would require femininity.
What was that?
That would require being feminine.
It would require an example.
That would require
one.
That would require being a woman.
That'll require having an example.
They
just
need
like
an example. They ain't never seen it before in a positive light. They see chaos all the time, and they think this bullshit is normal, and it's not.
It's not.
This is not normal, and this is why I cannot bring myself to go down the doom and gloom rabbit hole and say that we are this fucking stupid. I can't, because we know it. We're not dumb. We cannot brag about being the quote unquote most educated and be this stupid with what really counts. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Well, people are not guarding their eyes and their ears. That's what's happening, because
or their seeds of their wombs.
I think, like I said, I think most single women today, what's forgotten is they should take an etiquette class, and they should find somebody, a mentor that is feminine, because they don't talk like they're feminine today. They don't even move like they don't even carry themselves like they're feminine. There's a certain that's missing, and I think that I would definitely put my daughter and put her in an etiquette class and say, listen, you got to conduct yourself like a woman at a certain age.
That comes from mom. It comes from mom. My mother, regardless of her flaws, it was just certain things that she was very strict on that were extremely feminine. And she's like, look, you better cook, you better clean, you better always look good. Always. She's like, if you don't do anything else, cook, clean, be pretty.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the main thing as a woman. There's so much strength in femininity. And you know what? There's so much strength in that you can make a man move mountains that women just don't understand. But in order to be feminine, you got to drop the ego. You are a woman. I don't understand why you want to be a she-male. She-males are not attractive. It's not. Well, there's only one dick in the house, and it's mine. It's not yours. I pee standing up. You pee sitting down. Cross your damn leg.
Now let me talk to you about
it's not that hard.
Let's talk about feminine energy. Now, there's nothing soft about it. Now, there's components of softness, but in all actuality, if you look at anything in nature and you look at the rawest form of feminine energy, it is very dangerous. It is not all fuzzy and beautiful and all that. That's a component of it. But there's a whole duality to that. So I feel these women are indeed acting into their feminine energy. It's just the other spectrum of it, if you know what I mean.
No, listen. It was Helena of Troy launched 1,000 ships, made a man launch 1,000 ships. 1,000 ships from her femininity. He went to get her. She caused a war. Achilles died. Achilles, the greatest Greek warrior, died because of a woman's feminine. I mean, aren't they taught this in school? Like, there's strength in femininity. You don't get a man to move mountains because you're on his level. You get a man to move mountains because he wants to go for what you need. He's gonna provide for you. He's gonna know the simplest things make you happy.
But that's the softer aspect.
You have to be a masculine. You have to be masculine when you're taking care of yourself. You're going to work every day. If you're a single mother, you're taking care of your child. But when a man's in front of you, you have to know how to be feminine, because now there's somebody in front of you. You have to be accountable for that femininity. He's not going to look at you as an equal. And masculinity in a woman only argues with a man. I mean, how is that so hard to understand?
Because you have to understand what masculine energy is and feminine. You got to remember, I'm about to be a doctor in metaphysics. So when you talk about energies, I'm just saying
you about to go down a whole nother technique. You about to go down a technical way that I get it, but that might be a little too deep
And
for this
and that
conversation,
that
because I
Chris right
know
there.
exactly where you about to go, because I've studied it too. I had to, because I used to work in the system and I used to see how this horse shit used to work. So I had to actually dive into the masculine and female and what the true meaning of masculine and feminine was, and not this buzzword way that we using it just to be right. Here's my whole thing. The main reason I think we are in, and Vic used to talk about this all the time, and I'm upset you let it go. We are in an unhealthy competition. It is an unhealthy competition. Women nowadays are trying their absolute hardest to be us, but still get what they want out of us. And it does not work. I'll even base level it for you. I'm not even going to go metaphysics. I'm just going to go straight physics. The law of base physics states that two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. You cannot be me and you at the same time in this union. You got to move so that way I can move. We need each other more than mainstream media and social media would lead us to believe. But we need y'all in a completely different fashion than you want us to need y'all. Because if we wanted y'all the way that mainstream media made it out, you wouldn't respect us no way, because don't none of y'all really want to take care of a man like that. Y'all just want the perks of what a man who will take care of everything will give you without giving him what he want. And it ain't working. This is why women who make all of these obnoxious amounts of money cannot find men, because the men that are on their level economically ain't checking for that, because one, they don't give a fuck about your money because they already got it. And two, they already know that if you were under their covering, you wouldn't be doing half of the shit you doing anyway, because you wouldn't have a choice but to chill out because he got it. And the moment you started playing his role and yours at the same time, he'll let you, just to show you how bad you don't want to do it. And the moment you start bitching is the moment he's going to look you dead in the face and say, I didn't tell your stupid ass to do this shit no way. Now sit back, shut up, and enjoy this ride.
But I'm just saying. I don't think a man should even be worried about a woman making more than him. He shouldn't even care. Even if a woman makes more than me, at the end of the day,
Saying
at the end of the day, she's gonna. At the end of the day, when we're in the house together, she's gonna know her role as a woman. She's gonna know, because I'm gonna put her in check. Her money is not gonna mask her femininity over me. I'm the man. I want you to make more money. You moving into my house, you gonna pay rent? You gonna pay bills? You gonna be, oh yeah, I'm taking your check. Because you know what? I was doing fine. I was doing fine without your money. Now you're coming into my world. Now you want the extravagations. Now you want me to pay for two things. I can do the small things, but no. Those days, listen, men have to be realistic. Your woman's gonna work. You're not providing, you're not paying all the bills. She gonna work. The average man, she gonna work. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. You're not gonna be no self-provider. You ain't checking like that. You ain't got money like that. I don't know about you. A mortgage is expensive. Bills, woo. Cell phone, it adds up. Car payment. Okay, so you're not doing it. You're not, oh, I'm gonna be this. She has to submit to me. She ain't submitting to shit. All right, you guys working together, coming together for the sake of the family. That's how it's gonna be. She's gonna go to work. You have no right to tell her if she's a doctor, and what you're doing. You're gonna tell a woman that's studied to be a doctor, you know, honey, all of a sudden I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna be at home cooking and cleaning. What woman is an idiot woman that would give up that kind of life? Why would she? She spent her whole life becoming what she is. Now, if you're going to tell her, hey, you know what? We want children. We have to find a way to make this work, come together to provide for the children. Now you're being realistic, right? Now you're being realistic because you're telling her, listen, we want the best for our children. So we both have to compromise somewhere. You can't be a doctor working 16 hours and pregnant on your feet. You even know that's not even healthy. So now let's be realistic. So how are we going to do this together? Because now I'm living a doctor's life. Your salary, my salary, we got all these bills to pay. How do we bring it together to pay the mortgage and still do our lives That's what's going to be the conversation. But the whole, I'm going to go to work and you know what, here's a paycheck every month and here's your, nigga, shit, please. The average American makes $42,000 a year. Shut the hell up. You ain't providing shit. And the finer she is, the more expensive she costs. Yes, yes. The more expensive it is, yes. Every time you see her hot, every time you see that underwear, yeah, that's costing you a lot more money. Mm-hmm. Yes. So get over yourself. Men, get over yourself. It doesn't work that way. Yep, that's how I see it.
Well, I'm going to speak real world here. I have seen men marry women who have been in quote unquote careers, and nature takes over. That man, I say this all the time, man. There's something inside of us. There's like a nature level primal instinct to want to take care of who we bring into our covering. That's just it. And when we start doing that, because we have somebody that we got to take care of, and we're doing it to the best of our ability at a nature level, she's gonna cut back. That's just nature. She's not gonna want to keep doing. It's not even gonna be like she's not gonna want to do those things. She's going to see that she doesn't have to do that stuff anymore because he got it. So in the real world, I would say that I have seen women, in fact, since Vic is military, I'll talk military. My little brother was a Marine, and he met his wife in the military. She was like a high level physician. They got married, had kids. He started taking care of literally everything, and she cut back on what she was doing because she got kids now. So like I said, man, there is a primal nature level of responsibility that activates when we are actually with the woman that we are supposed to be with. And that woman is the type of woman that we want. And she continues to be the type of woman that we want. There's an equivalent exchange that goes along with this. I do this in exchange. I need you to be who I need you to be, because if you can't do that, I can't do this. And if I can't do this, we all fail.
Chemistry is necessary. It doesn't work without that balance, man. Like you can't have the unhealthy competition and the
I need a
success.
shot.
Hey, that's why like earlier, I posted a comment, and I'm gonna go through some of the comments. I said when we were talking about divorced women, right? I wrote this back last year sometime. Said divorced women with children do not move like single mothers. One was wife material and one isn't. One was sexually disciplined and the other was not. And I think you guys talked right around that, and it kind of just popped up at the right time. I wanted to make sure that got highlighted. Do you guys agree with that or disagree? It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah,
100% agree with that.
yeah, because again, everything comes back to sexual discipline. You know, we had a man, Renell. Shout out to Mr. Renell. He all the way back out of Seattle. He made a comment earlier when you guys were talking about the Russell Wilson Sierra piece, and we were talking about how honorable it used to be, and in terms of being a step parent, right? And then it trailed off into this right here, and I wanted to make sure we brought this up. Boys are taught how to treat women since birth, tend to your mom or sisters, how to be nice to girls at school. Young girls aren't raised to be anything for boys or men.
That's today,
so, yeah. So how would you speak to that?
Well,
It's true.
True, yeah. You know, these girls aren't raised to be wives today.
That's why I talk a lot of shit, but I tell people, I'm like, man, my daughters are not going to have any competition when they get older. None.
Because they have an example.
None. I mean, they know. Look, my husband, when he comes home from work, he can smell the food from outside. you know, they see, we want them to actively see Black love. I don't know if you can see, we have images of just love all over. But yeah, I've noticed that. I was just talking to my husband. I said, why don't women coach their daughters in how to relate to men? Because, well, I never had these problems. Now, I do know my mom made her mistakes, but she was pretty smart when it come to men. And she taught me all of these things. We would watch movies and she would pause the movie and ask me what I thought about the men. She wanted to know what my type was. My daughters talk to me. They're 9 and 10. And we talk about this, even though they're little, it's age appropriate, you know. You have to have these conversations.
That's what that's what I think a woman's job is, teaching a daughter is to how to be a woman, how to be feminine, how to get along with a man. That's what listen, it's all about making her know her place as her role as a woman. And once you know that, you can navigate through the world, man. It's not even that hard. It's not even hard to. Why don't women recognize that men that of quality, like myself, we recognize when we see you as a feminine woman that can be married, right? Like, I don't know if these women understand. Men that have their shit together, we know a hoe when we see one, and we know a woman because we could tell by the minute you open your mouth. Your looks get us over there. What comes out of your mouth determines if we'll stay. We're not stupid. We know we're going to put you in a category. We can tell because we come from quality. We built quality. We live in quality. So I don't understand why women think men are just, they're hungry for sex. Sure. But what level of sex are you talking about? Are you talking about, I want to see you the next morning? Or are you talking about, take your coat and you're leaving the same night?
Like, these things really happen, Antoine. These things really happen.
Like when I go out, I'm intentionally dating. Your looks got me over there to talk to you, and I'll buy you a drink. We'll have a good dinner. And if you think you're putting a finesse on me for a drink, you're not, because a drink is nothing for me to buy. But the minute I can tell if I'm having a conversation with you, how deep I can go. If you can't talk politics, you don't have any knowledge of what's going around. If I mention Trump and you just hate him because you have no knowledge of, I already know what category you're in. My guy, you're in a club, for crying out loud. Yeah. Like, I don't understand why women think men of quality can't see that shit. You're not going to finesse a guy that's got his shit together. You're not. And that drink he's buying you that you think you're getting away with, he's actually budgeted you in too. And you know what? And we also put a purse in there because we want to get you something nice.
Well,
I wrote a tax write-off.
Yeah, and it's a tax write-off. Exactly, Chris.
I wrote about this today. I was like, don't receive gifts that you don't have any plan to reciprocate within that same energy. You know what I mean? I've been offered everything and I will not take it if I know that there's no chemistry and you're going to expect something, which is human nature. So I'm not going to accept anything when I know, like drinks, all that. I won't accept it if I know that we just, I'm not going to do that. But I think women need to really think about that.
Can I say something, please? And I really, really need to say this because I see a lot of men in the chat, and a lot of men are commenting, and a lot of them actually make sense. But I'm not on anybody's side here, so don't. I'm to keep it real. Some of y'all need to shut the fuck up, and I'm saying this because we really wouldn't be in this situation if we didn't give them something to talk about. The reason why women can't tell the difference between a man wanting to be with him and a man wanting to sleep with him is because of the amount of attention that we giving these hoes. And you ain't got no intention on doing anything with them. Y'all will even lie and fake relationships just to get some boxing and going about your business. Quit lying to these women and be straight up with them. And the main reason why I'm telling y'all, most of y'all, to shut the fuck up is because it's because I'm the guy on the internet talking about this right now, and it shouldn't be. That's why I'm saying it. I listen, man, I'm not on anybody's side because I think everybody is acting fucking stupid right now.
Yeah.
Seriously. So And this is why don't nobody invite me on they stupid little panel conversations when they talk about stuff like this, because I curse everybody out. Nobody is safe because everybody is acting fucking stupid.
Grind it out, baby. So while I have you here, let me go back to the comments again. Like the best thing for people with kids is not to date and wait till the kids are grown. The other option is to find and date people with kids. That way they date on their playing field.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
How about people just flow and just
I don't believe that whole. Yeah, I don't believe that.
why do people
How about
get all these
this?
questions?
How about some of y'all actually get some fucking sense about yourselves and write down the kind of person that you want in your life? Go where that person is and figure out what they want out of a partner and be that, instead of trying to mold them into this Frankenstein of a monster that you got picked in your head in that movie that you got playing in your head that only stars you, but you play him, you're the director, you're the caster, you're the sound guy, you play all of these fucking roles, but the two things that you don't do is you don't edit it for a different fucking outcome, and two, you really not good at casting because y'all put a bunch of people in positions that they ain't got no goddamn business in, and you know better.
Well,
that's like funny to me, but anyways,
it's common sense, but it's not common.
No, I don't believe that whole quote, that whatever that person.
Come on, Antoine, what's your take on that? What's up?
Because it's stupid. I think if a woman has kids, she's got to date within reason and with intention. When you have kids, you have to date with an intention. You're not dating for dating anymore. You're not. Those days are gone. You have kids. You have responsibilities. Your responsibility is different from the average guy you're going to meet. So you got to date with intention. What are you dating for? If you're dating for a man in your life, if you're dating for... I mean, you're dating on that level now. That single dating for the hookup is gone. It's gone. You're dating with a purpose that's different from the average single man. And the average single man, listen, we all date baby mamas because they're easy to get into bed. It's the easiest thing. You guys are like shooting fish in a barrel. You're not hard. We already know you pushed it out. You're not hard. I don't know why baby mamas think they have... Baby mamas get baby mama options. Get that out of your head. You get baby mama options, and you're lucky if a guy wants to come into your life, especially in today's time. But women with kids have to date carefully. They have to vet the man carefully. They have to really date because they have to think for the well-being of their children and their home and where they sleep at night, because you don't know who you're talking to that's single in front of you. And if you spill your whole life in front of you don't know what that man's going to do. So you have to date a little bit more careful than when you were single without kids. It's just the way it is. And you have to understand, you messed up. It's there now. That's the level you're at now. And you'll have much better outcomes. Much better outcomes. But as fine as you are as a single mother, just know, single men know you're easier than the average woman without kids. Sorry, I'm going to break your bubble. That's how it is.
Well,
you know,
go ahead, Chris. What you got?
You know what? I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because I've worked in the system and I know what's coming down. I have a good feeling about what's coming down the pike. I would say that until the laws change, despite the fact that you have a child, it's dangerous for men without kids to date women with kids, because if they're starting to try to put men who are in relationships with women with kids under the Equitable Parenting Act, which is basically saying that if you are with a woman with kids for longer than 5 years, or if you have a substantial relationship with that child, or if you're married, it depends on the state, and things don't work out, then that mom can take the dude to court for child support because that child views him as a father figure. Like, it's deeper than just you having kids. It's not, and I said this before, man, it's not that you're bad people. Single mothers are not bad people. It's not that you're bad people. You just come with a lot of risks, to keep it real. And you would have to really, really be, like I said, man, I've seen this in the system, man. You will have to A, make sure that that child is an asset to the man, and B, you really have to be with that man once and consistently be with that man once in order for him to even think about taking a chance with you on some real shit, because legally there's too much against us to even try that. Like, it's fiscally dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the laws. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna hop off because my dinner is ready and I have a date.
We get ready to wrap up anyway. You right on time.
Oh, well, then it all works out. Damn, I lost my train of thought.
You were thinking about dinner.
Yeah.
And that date.
That plate messed him up. It's just sitting up in the microwave, threw him all over.
Oh no, I don't do microwave stuff. I got behind the stove.
That's why I threw you off, because you put that work in.
I'm nice behind the stove. Don't get it twisted. Like Antoine said, I can cook too. Goddamn it,
Yeah.
I can cook too. But yeah, man, it's not that we're not saying that single mothers are horrible people.
You was talking about risk. You was talking about risk.
There's a lot of it's risky. It just is. And that's not saying that you're bad people, and it's not trying to paint all of you into this box. But until y'all start telling the women that represent y'all in mainstream media and social media to shut the entire fuck up, this is the impression that we'll have. Y'all won't listen to us unless we make a certain amount. And if you make equal to what we make, you'll still try to tell us to shut up. So we can't tell y'all nothing. So it's on y'all to talk to y'all. So it's going to take y'all being called pick-me's and all of this other horse shit, all of these other shaming tactics to actually fix this. Y'all are going to have to fight this fight because y'all told us that y'all don't got to listen to us no way. And we got our own shit to deal with. This is why I always tell the fellas when I go on these panels to shut the fuck up. Because we got work to do too. It's not all on them. They're not all bad people. To keep it real, they had to let somebody shoot their club up in order to be a single mom in the first place. So what does that tell us about how frivolous we've been being with our seeds? Shut up. Quit trying to shut up.
Chris said shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Until you learn, and to keep it real, Vic, we say this all the time. Teaspoon of grace. We were never taught how important our seeds were, but now that we know and we know better, this nonsense should not be happening anymore, and we should not give our reflection anything to talk about because we fucking know better. We're not this stupid.
I agree. That's what accountable masculinity.
I don't want this, Vic. I don't want this.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but man, this is the outcome. This is the other side of it, man. Like, everybody on this panel is in their 40s. They're on the other side of their childhood, and they're on the other side of their wise adult big years, as they like to call it now. So the conversations that we're having now are based off the decisions that we made 20 years ago, realistically. And we just now came into recent understanding since social media on how much of our life actually has value. Because, like, without having a discussion like this, you would just go through life, you know what I'm saying, not knowing if whatever you do counted. I say all the time that women pursue love in the world the way men pursue respect. And very few men have had the experience of actually being respected when they walk into a place and people know their name, either know their work or something like that. So the only place where, only playground where people could really earn some stripes was based on what they could do in relationships with women. And for a while, there's a lot of men competing for the worst women to have kids with. And then now the table is turned. There's more women that are the worst women are competing to have babies with the worst men. And it's low-level learners reproducing with low-level learners. And I stand by that. And now we're on the other side of it, and we got to have a really, really difficult conversation where, Antoine's utopia doesn't mix with Chris's utopia, doesn't mix with Star's experience. And me, I'm on the outside, like, I don't have no kids, and nobody up here has kids but Star. And we all have different perspectives, different, connections to the words that people use. Like, I don't hang around folks that's looking to come in and save them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have friends that's in that space. So, like, when I hear other people's discussions about the same topic, it eludes me. So I have to create a conversation like this so we can get these perspectives out, because it's tied to a lot of people's trauma. That's just what it is, realistically.
Yeah.
So, anybody got anything to say before I close the show out? Because I want to talk backstage, because I want us to make sure we get on the next topic. Chris got to go eat. Antoine probably got something he needs.
Yeah, I got something to say.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Antoine. Keep 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay, listen, if a man is dating, let's say if he's dating a baby mama, which is out of wedlock, and if he's dating a single mother, which is one that was married, okay, those are two different things. He's got to understand, you're not dating the mother. You got to see who that ex-man is. Is he in prison? You got to vet the man, because that's the guy that's going to do you harm. She's telling you what you want to hear. It's the man she was with that you got to vet. You got to find out, because don't take her word for it. You got to find out where those kids came from, who they came from. You got to vet that, because that's what's going to keep you safe once you know where he is. And she says prison, turn the other way and run, because there is nothing good about prison. Nothing good. If he's got a gold teeth, you got to run. Just move. It ain't. She does not have anything good enough to keep you there. Trust me. She already gave it up for a gold teeth and a man that was in prison. That tells you right there. Run. So you have to know where those kids are coming from. Date smart. And you know what, women? I'm going to give women game. You know what, women?
I said 30 seconds, Antoine.
You don't know how to keep stuff short.
You know what, women? I'm going to give women game right now. I'm going to give women game right now. You want to know if your man is serious? If you're having a conversation and he's hitting on you, you're hitting on him. You want to know if he's serious? Talk to him about marriage and where his mind is at. At a certain age, if he can't talk about marriage, that's not where his mind is at. And look at the environment you're in, and you're asking him that question. Because any man with dating with a purpose and intention and wants to meet a good girl is not scared to talk about marriage and commitment.
Well, you heard it there, folks. You heard it here, folks. And first, folks, because Antoine is the go-to. You know, when it comes down to
I don't know about that.
He's a resident expert. With that being said, thank you for attending this episode of the Code Talk Evening Show, solutions only based topics. And I will see you next week. I'll see y'all backstage.
Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and hit the like button and follow. Please leave your feedback in the comments. Make sure you hit up the super chat, leave a donation to support the platform. Yo chick make you mad, my chick make me a sandwich. Yo chick make you mad, my chick make me a sandwich. Go cop the shirt, visit the merch store, shop with Accountable Masculinity, and support the platform. Men have hope.